So the New Orleans Saints had 4 straight years of double-digit wins under Drew Brees and our boy Sean Payton. Last year they had a miraculous 9-8, which looking at the record, I was like kind of shocked when I went back. I was like, okay, 2021 wasn't as bad as it looked. So do you think that this is the year that they get back to double digits?
Yeah, possibly.
I'm personally not sure about it.
Possibly.
It's going to be an interesting team with Sean Payton gone. Also, obviously, there's a lot of dead money on this team too. And I honestly feel like the main answer to this question lies within whether or not Michael Thomas, for one, plays again, and two, can regain any sort of form from the past few years. He is 2 years removed from being a relevant fantasy star, and whatever his injury was, or multiple injuries, I'm still not even 100% sure. Foot? Question mark. And yeah, news is saying he's back at the moment. He, like Billy just said, he will be here. I don't really know what kind of fantasy relevant players are on this team because, well, we'll get into it. But anyway, there is about 5,000 yards on this team just waiting to be claimed. So it should be someone. I personally don't feel comfortable telling you it's one person. So let's start with the QBs. We got Jameis Winston. He is currently QB 20, which is just absolute steal. He is finally healthy, hopefully. I mean, he's kind of getting back here, and surrounded by a cast of loaded players. So he's definitely my favorite of any Saint to be rostered on any fantasy team, mainly because you don't have to spend more and there's less questions surrounding him because we all know Taysom Hill is not the best quarterback in the world. So he's not really going for the competition here. So, speaking of Taysom Hill, he is actually currently quarterback 40, which they're saying he's going to be a tight end this year, but there will be some design quarterback plays. He is absolutely undraftable until he gets to keep his tight end designation and somehow Winston gets injured. So unfortunately, I feel like most fantasy football apps will probably update his status as QB if that time comes. But if you get that 1 week of him being a tight end as a quarterback, I don't think he really did all that well, but still 12 points or whatever. Getting into the running backs, huge question mark surrounding this running back core. Alvin Kamara going running back 5 last year. You're probably also scorned with this guy. He is currently running back 15. So for the time being, his, RB1 status is gone. So the talent level kind of dries up around him whenever he's being drafted. So personally don't mind getting him in his current ADP, but if you had him last year, I completely understand why you don't want him. The biggest problem is we don't know how long the suspension is going to be. So if this team regains its form, which it has the talent to, Kamara could have a great year. I assume his suspension will be less than a few games. So I don't think he'll have like a half season or anything, but we'll see as that news comes out. And then Mark Ingram is basically going undrafted right now at ADP of 179. He is running back 60. And I personally think this is a mistake. Whether you're going 0 running back from the start or just want some quick points to start the season, I think Ingram is that guy to get that good start. Unfortunately, Kamara's suspension will probably be announced before most people's drafts. Should be coming pretty imminent at this point. But he should see an immediate bump at that point once the suspension is officially announced. But at the moment, at running back 60, ADP of 179, I'm all about getting Mark Ingram. And then behind them, too, there's not a whole lot of redraft stars, but there are some dynasty stashes. Tony Jones, kind of been a disappointment, but could see his role increase.
No.
It's Abram Smith.
No, I know. Tony Jones is still on the team, though.
Yeah, but he's not.
I understand that. I was going to get there.
He looked really bad.
Calm down. I said there's a few options for dynasty stashes.
Okay.
Jesus.
I think he's playing this year, by the way, Abram Smith, but that's...
I literally was about to say his name if you want to give me a second here. But all right. Anyway, back to it. They did pick up undrafted free agent Abram Smith, who Billy had to interrupt, and should make the roster. I'm not really holding my breath on him because he's not James Robinson. He's probably not going to come in and be the undrafted free agency, not to mention, or undrafted running back. Not to mention there is Alvin Kamara still to be a problem. So Mark Ingram is my guy at this point, especially in redraft. In Dynasty, for sure, grab him. Abram Smith, he should be taken by somebody. And then Dwayne Washington and Malcolm Brown are nothing to write home about. So I want Tony Jones to be a thing, but I don't really think it's going to be a thing. Anyway, go ahead, talk about Abram Smith. What do you guys
I didn't know we were even going to disagree like this on any of these teams right now. But I'm disagreeing wholeheartedly. First of all, I think Mark Ingram might end up being cut from the team. Like, that's a very real possibility to save on his contract. He could end up being cut on the team. And I think that puts Abram Smith in a very favorable position, depending on how training camp goes, to potentially be the starter while Alvin Kamara is suspended. So I'm really high on Abram Smith. I feel like he's going real late. And I would say with a strong training camp, he could be the exact right guy to fill the James Robinson undrafted free agent role. But that, hey, I know Tony Jones isn't taking it. So Abram Smith from Baylor, who used to be a linebacker, by the way, played linebacker in 2020 and then switched back to running back in 2021. I think he could be the guy. That's just me. I think this year he could be relevant.
At the Senior Bowl, Abram Smith looked awesome. He was catching him really good out of the backfield, catching him in stride, good rusher. He looked awesome at the Senior Bowl. I was very impressed with what I saw. Tony Jones, no. After what I saw last year, man, what do you have, like 16 rushes?
You can tell who got burned by Tony Jones.
Yeah, I was so excited.
Okay, time out. I understand the hype for Abram Smith, and I understand that there is hype surrounding him. But what do you think's going to happen? Like, do you think he's just going to take Kamara's role? Kamara's going to be out for what, 2-3 games? Like,
I don't think. No. I mean, no. I just think he's going to be relevant. I mean, Mark Ingram's still relevant when Alvin Kamara's out there.
Yeah, we saw Kamara get hurt last year, and we saw them try to run Tony Jones, and he didn't do good. So they brought in Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram looked okay. I mean, if you're looking for a talented backup, handcuffs type situation, Abram Smith's your guy. He kind of plays the same role as Kamara.
He's not draftable in redraft unless they cut.
No, we didn't say he was, but
that's what I said though.
I still think he's draftable. I think
as soon as you're wasting a roster spot as
they cut Ingram, Smith is the guy that you are immediately. I'm just saying, if you're playing like
if they cut Ingram.
I know.
Okay, are you listening to Camp News? Are you drinking the Kool-Aid right now?
I'm not drinking any Kool-Aid. I'm saying he is a cut candidate because his contract is very cuttable if Abram Smith comes out of training camp looking good.
That's which he will. They feel that comfortable running just Abram Smith.
Which he will.
All right. Anyway, let's get to the fucking wide receivers. I fucking hate you guys. All right. All right. Anyway, like I said, wide receivers. This leaves more questions than answers. Personally, the ADP is not terrible for these three. Let's start off with Jarvis Landry. Oh, never mind. Michael Thomas was how I had it, but that's who Joe had pulled up. So Michael Thomas, his current ADP is 77 as wide receiver 35. I think that'll bump up, especially as Camp News arrives. But I'm personally done waiting for Michael Thomas to come back. His 2-year mysterious hiatus that he took from the team. I personally think this. Yes, he was injured. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I think this was Drew Brees isn't playing. I don't want to play anymore. I want stats, and I'm not getting them from James Winston and Taysom. So I personally think it's a big baby right now. I am not excited about drafting him. If he's there, I might end up with a share of Michael Thomas somewhere. So 2 years ago, he had 1,700 yards. I don't think you're getting that again, ever. If he is truly back and healthy, he could easily be a boom past this ADP of 77, but don't get too hyped up. We did this last year where, okay, he was out for a year. He's coming back. And then he just didn't. I don't really know any real news behind that. I don't know if any of you guys have anything to actually add to what happened to Michael Thomas.
I hate Michael Thomas.
Exactly.
We'll never know.
Exactly. So it's a bunch of bull. I'm not a Michael Thomas. If you want him, sure, go get him. Jarvis Landry, pretty interesting to me. Wide receiver 54. I think you can't really blame all his past underlies on him. He was phenomenal at Miami, and then he got into Cleveland, which he was completely underutilized. I don't know if that was due to aging or just poor management by the Browns all around, or Baker Mayfield. He never really did live up to that expectation, though, that he had from Miami, where he was a slot receiver getting 100 catches a year. So, but if any team could use some wide receiver depth, it is the Saints. So let's hope for a resurgence here. What'd you say, Mel?
I was just saying he was fine year one.
It was okay. It wasn't what he
2018, I think. He was good that year.
He didn't turn out to be what he was whenever everyone thought. Yeah. So anyway, Olave, the new rookie, the brand new shiny toy. I'm very intrigued by this, and I really was heavy on him until Landry was added to the receiver room. But at the same time, I think he'll be fine. His speed is super awesome. 4.2, I think, at the combine. So it's very intriguing for this team, which is pretty much lacking speed. Michael Thomas, if he does come back, he's that kind of slot guy. Landry is also a slot guy. And then there's no stretch the field guys because they have Traquan Smith and then a bunch of names that don't do anything. Current ADP is wide receiver 47. ADP, I guess, is 111. He is wide receiver 47. So pretty excited about him. And then don't draft Traquan Smith. Don't even pick him up. Just like if someone gets injured, just don't pick him up. He'll be fine.
Jameis Winston hates him. So
yeah, and then tight ends, just to touch on him real quick. Adam Troutman, he scares me personally. He's tight end 27. I know everyone wants him to be good, but with Taysom Hilling around, I can't get too excited about this guy. So
Taysom Hilling
I don't know. Could be an interesting tight end 3 if you have a large bench league, but I don't think he's really draftable. He's could be a good fill in here and there, but he has like one good game his entire career. So
good point.
Juwan Johnson looked good for one game last year.
He sure did. He did look good for that one game.
Anyway,
Joe, your boy Kevin White's on the team.
He is on the team. I didn't even want to touch on it because there's way too many.
I just like reminding Joe that Kevin White's on the team.
You just like dragging my soul through the dirt, man.
Good old second round pick that really panned out for you guys.
It's upsetting.
Sad times.
Anything to add to that receiver room? I feel like we kind of touched on.
No, I hated Olave coming out of college, but he landed in a great spot to maybe make something happen. So for that reason, sure. Just I feel like there's question marks still with him. How can you be the third best receiver on your college team and then be the number one on another? I don't know.
I feel like he was in kind of that dead zone of dynasty drafts too, where it was like 8. I think you actually traded me your 8th pick because you're like, do I want Olave? Sure, but not really. I'll take her first next year.
I just there's holes in the game that I don't like.
In redraft, I don't think I could go Olave
at 111 in the 10th round.
I could 10th round. I probably will make that mistake at least in one league that I'm in, but.
I think you're talking about your wide receiver 4, though. Like, I mean, sure, there's other options.
Yeah, I guess there's upside there.
There's upside. I think there's upside to all 3 of these guys. I just don't know who it is, so I'm not going to come out and say it's Michael Thomas or Landry or Olave. That's the one I like the most, just because.
If he goes higher than the 10th, that is dynasty brain from somebody in the league that plays in dynasty league. You'll be able to point that person out immediately because they'll be like taking him in the 8th, and they'll be like, holy shit, dude, calm down. That's not an 8th round wide receiver you're taking there. But,
that happens every time.
Affects everybody differently.
I mean, that's where Sky Moore and Christian Watson are going to end up going. I mean,
yeah,
we're talking about the same 3 guys who might have good opportunities to be there. Jameis does like to throw the deep ball, though. So, I mean, Michael Thomas ain't catching it because I don't think he catches balls anymore. And then Landry, he's not really a deep ball receiver. So, if there is someone catching a deep ball, it's Olave or maybe one of the 5 guys below him. But
my favorite thing about the Saints is Kamara is now an end of the 2nd round, early 3rd round pick, and that is insane. That is value.
Did you ever think you'd see Kamara, Saquon, and Zeke in the 3rd round?
No. It's a weird year, man.
No, it's a very strange year.
If you real quick to put this into place, who would you rather have this year? Kamara, Saquon, or Zeke? I think Zeke's probably out. So Kamara or Saquon?
Kamara.
I don't know. Yeah. Saquon is intriguing to me because if he can stay healthy, there's no one coming for his job. Kamara, like you guys said, Abram Smith's coming for his job, undrafted free agent.
He just might. All
right,
anyway, defense.
Let's get off the Saints. Let's do some defense real quick and get out of here. So we got Demario Davis, who 5 straight years of 100+ tackles. He's doing it again. Not much behind him or around him to take away from him. So I think a guy who's worth his draft stock, which is honestly kind of hard for me for IDP, but after the top few linebackers get taken, he will be there and you'll be fine with him slipping to you. So I'm thinking 2nd, 3rd round. Once again, there's no good IDP rankings. We need to come out with ours. And then Pete Werner, solid rookie season, 80 tackles. He should have a great season again. I think this is another thing of the dynasty mindset, and people are going to be drafting him a little too early in ADP just because that's what they do, young guys. And I'm like, it's redraft. You don't have to get a 2nd-year guy, but he does have a chance to break over that 100 tackle mark. But I'm not stoked, I guess. I don't know. And then Cam Jordan, the ageless wonder, he's still good for sacks. He's averaging 12 sacks per year the last 5 years. So you're getting him still, and I don't think he's super expensive because he is getting older. And then Davenport on the other side actually came off a 9-sack campaign, and if both of these guys stay healthy, should both be good for about double-digit sacks. So you're
9 sacks in 11 games.
Yeah, you're going to draft.
He's my dynasty buy right now.
Yeah, and you're getting him lower than Cam Jordan, most likely.
Oh yeah.
Well, not in Dynasty, but in redraft.
Yeah, people are really down on Davenport. He's going really freaking late. So,
Well, he landed up on the pup, and everybody freaked out again about. Oh, Davenport's on the pup. What do you think that means?
He's done forever.
Time to pup the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, he did it. I love a good pun, man.
The brakes. I love that.
Anyway, into the D-backs. Marshawn Lattimore, the best cornerback in the league, is not fantasy relevant. Stop drafting him. No, I'm just kidding. He's not terrible, but just don't draft him quick.
Did you say into the D-bags?
D-backs,
Okay.
or backs, whatever. One of the other. Tyrann Mathieu. This is one of those guys who his name outweighs his actual fantasy production, kind of like Lattimore. You will get some big games from him, but if he gets that interception and sack, he'll get 6 tackles a game. But I think in IDP he's going to go too high for me. He always does. And then Marcus May, I think, is the real safety you want on your team here after an injury marred season last year. He was averaging 8 tackles a game in like 7-8 games. And honestly, May has a chance to stack some points on the Saints team that just always seems to have a lot of points scored against them. So he's going to be getting those tackles. Plus, you don't have to spend high draft capital on him. I got him late in dynasty leagues because he's only like 28. So, and then I can't go through this without talking about my boy Smoke Monday. He only smokes on Monday, and I'm hoping he gets some big games in Monday Night Football because Smoke Monday will be a very fun topic to talk about. But he's basically waiting in the wings at this point. I think he's got a few years to develop, really. But I just love him, man. I drafted him in my Madden team. I was super excited to get him.
It's a good name.
Anyway, that's my defense. Anyone?
Give me the honey badger. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying he's bad. He's a 75 tackle a year plus some sacks and defense. Like, he does a lot of the big points, and he'll have those good games. But you're also your floor is 5, and that floor comes more often than you think.
You like your DBs to have those, your D-bags to have those splash plays, though. That's just
It's true. I'm more of a consistency tackle kind of guy. Like Jalen Thompson was my guy last year for that exact reason. 130 tackles. I know what I'm getting from him. I'm getting 8 to 9 points a game, and like that's just like what he's getting. Those 3-point games that he gets 2 tackles just hurts me a little bit. Anyway, that's the Saints. Anyone got any additions to that defense that they need to come clean about?
I don't. If you need a kicker, Will Lutz is that guy. So
it's a good kicker.
He's a stud.
Great kicker. Anyway, New Orleans over-under is 8.
All right. We got Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Minnesota, the Seahawks, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Rams, the 49ers, the Buccaneers, the Falcons, the Browns, the Eagles, and the Panthers. I don't know.
That was tough. I actually got caught up in the middle of that season there.
The middle of that season.
I don't think they beat Carolina twice, which is the problem here. I think they beat Atlanta twice.
The problem is their defense lets up so many points. They have talent there, but the defense always seems to be in the bottom 10.
Dude, so week 6 to week 13 is.
I didn't hear a win.
And then add on the Eagles and the Browns there. Wow.
I'm gonna go with under just because I have a feeling one piece. This is me banking on Michael Thomas not being Michael Thomas ever again.
Yeah,
I think the offense will be fun, but I don't think they're gonna win.
I think there's fantasy points here to draft, but I'm not excited for their win total.